This is the Naturally Beautiful and Optimal Wellness Summit. Thank you for joining us today. And our sponsor today is Jenny Halligan's Empower You. Products that synergistically give your body premium grade nutrition. So Kimberly McGeorge, I would like to welcome you. You're a naturopathic doctor and you've had a clinical practice for several years. Welcome.
Oh, thank you so much. It's my pleasure to be here.
Awesome. Your specialty is working with frequencies. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So I didn't know this, so I've been on a number of radio shows, but they actually call me a pioneer in energy medicine, which I love. I love that. So it does follow under the generic title of energy medicine. Of course, everything is energy. Everything is frequency. So once you kind of really understand that, not just on a mental level, but on a body level and a practical level, you understand that each nutrition or lack of nutrition, like potato chips or ice cream, that you put into your body has a specific frequency. So there's a couple things a frequency can do, and it can be nutrition, it can be the color you paint the walls, it can be your emotions, which is a frequency, it can be a thought or a word, which all has a specific frequency. But as you put this nutrition or non-nutrition in your body, it's going to do a couple things. It's going to do nothing, so no harm, no foul. It's going to strengthen you, bring up your frequency, bring out your energy, make you feel good, balance you, bring you to homeostasis, or it's going to weaken or stress your body. So frequency is really important. And so I would say frequency is below nutrition. It's kind of the nuts and bolts beneath everything, including, health and nutrition.
Wow. How amazing is that? Now, is that the work that you've done with your clients, or what?
That's a great question. Yeah, it's the work I've done for the last 17 years. I actually started with a standard kind of herbal nutrition practice. I had a mail order company and I grew all my own herbs and I put together formulas and very much into the herbal medicine. And due to wanting kind of to start my own radio show and blow my business up, I decided to go back to school and get my naturopathic doctor. Not that I wasn't already successful, but people like degrees, they like letters after your name. So I went back and did that. And it's so funny. So I practiced pretty much as a standard naturopath. I learned AK. I taught AK, which is applied kinesiology or muscle testing. I learned a bunch of modalities, energy healing, did a lot of counseling work. And I got really, really frustrated because I was letting people walk out with huge bags of nutrition if they could afford it. Because their body, if you've never really taken care of yourself or put money and time into yourself, we reach these crisis points. We reach breakdown, nervous breakdown, or we're depressed, or we can't sleep, and we have to do something about it, or we're exhausted, or we have pain all over our body and don't know where it's from. So we have these crisis points, which leads us to either conventional practitioners, or maybe we've already done that and we're still sick and tired of being sick and tired. So then we go to alternative practitioners. So what really led me into the energy medicine was amazingly well, but it's so hard to sit in front of someone who has cancer or diabetes or depressed and they can't afford, $500 worth of nutrition. So then let's say they come back and I'm like, how are you feeling? They're like, a little better, but they were still so symptomatic. And I started thinking there's so much beneath this that I'm not reaching. Even though I'm doing targeted nutrition, high quality nutrition, I can tell exactly what they need because we're all individuals. So you're not depressed because, the same reason I'm depressed, or you don't have cancer, the same reasons I have cancer. So we need to get underneath that. And really, of course, nutrition and health and balanced emotions and physical exercise, we all know about that. But there's so much more. There's so much that lies beneath that. So that kind of led me into the study of homeopathic medicine, which is, of course, little bottles of frequencies. I started playing around with that. And people would much rather buy 2 or 3 little bottles and take that than, all those, because swallowing tons and tons and tons and tons of pills, and powders and shakes and on, it's just not always real easy. So that led to, I was dating a neurosurgeon at the time who worked for Johns Hopkins, and he's like, babe, just get the frequencies of the stuff they need, put it in some tracks and give it to them. Now, of course, I still recommend and use nutrition, but no longer do I sell nutrition. I refer them to other people. If I say you need a great vitamin B, then I refer them, I refer them to other places to go get that. I no longer in kind of this drugstore, which takes a lot of the pushing a certain product line out of it. So I used to sell a number of product lines. And the thing about the body is just super specific and it's very, very clear about what it wants. So that's what we do with frequencies. It gives you a lot of specific power on the diagnostic side, and on the treatment side, it gives you tremendous accuracy and people get well really quickly.
Wow. Amazing. So you do a lot of, I hear an echo, sorry. Do you do a lot of testing? Tell me about your testing process.
Yeah, so we use this beautiful thing that you guys are very familiar with called technology. so it's based on Tesla and Volt technology. It's been around since the 1800s. I actually have what I call 2 big machines, and now we've actually created our own app, but now it's down to app size. So we're experimenting with kind of the iPad level where you can be sitting next to someone on the plane and then they say, oh, I'm depressed. And I'm like, oh, let's see why. And it just gives you this like really, and of course, here's an important key that if you guys can grab a hold of this, it will revolutionize your life forever. And you already know this, you just don't know that you know it. Energy knows no time or distance. That's how we're talking. That's how you guys are watching this beautiful video and this, summit, because energy knows no time or distance. So somehow people have a hard time believing that I can take a picture or a voice print in a birthday and blow them away. They're like, well, and it hurts because I'm a little psychic, so that hurts me. They're like, oh, that's just you because it's psychic. No, I could teach anyone. As a matter of fact, my daughters, even though they are psychic, they also work for me. We train other people to run, and teach other people how to do this and how to use this technology. It's a lifetime study, as anything is, but it's just really cool that we have access to it. You know what it reminds me of, Elizabeth? It reminds me, and this is telling my age, but I used to watch Star Trek when I was a kid, and they would come up to the beds in sick bay, and they'd have what? What were they holding? They were holding little pads that looked much like this, weren't they? And they would stand by the bed, and it was computerized, and they would, push some buttons and be like, okay, there. That is here and has been here for years. It obviously clashes with the conventional medicine system, so that's why it's still a little bit repressed.
That is amazing. So do you think Star Trek got you on your way?
Star Trek, I think they were already in certain places that we probably don't know about where. I think they've been using this technology for a long time. So even the technology that I'm using, as revolutionary as it is, I know there's even more. We're always going to that next level, and we're always experimenting with technology, and we apply it to many areas. Of course, the most common reason, because of my background, people come to me for physical imbalances, but we know we're whole people. So we know we have an energy field, and we know there's emotional imbalance is huge, hormonal imbalance. That's physical, but also affects your thoughts and your, mind. So we have to kind of treat the person holistically. But the really cool thing is we can even go down to belief systems and say, oh, it's a specific thought. The belief, I am not worthy, and we know what that frequency is. And so we can run it against you, because all you are is this giant radio transmitter and receiver. So we can just, plug up to you and say, okay, boom, 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 parasites, bacteria, virus, hormone imbalance, brain chemicals. And what's really cool is, of course, I've done thousands and thousands of scans on myself, but I also go to another doctor for checks and balances that's a naturopath, and they run blood tests there, and my results are dead on. They even say my results are better than theirs.
Wow.
In seconds, more things than you can afford, even with insurance, to run thousands and thousands of dollars of blood tests. So yeah, it's really cool and really fun.
It's interesting you said that, because I've heard a book about eating for your blood type. Do you believe in that, or is there any truth to that at all?
What I do believe about that is, and I think I've read some of those books back in the day, but everyone is so individual. And actually one of the things that pops on almost everybody we scan is the inflammation process and allergies. So definitely everybody needs to be eating for who they are. And what we find, unfortunately, you guys, here's the bad news. What we find is you usually have to eat that way the rest of your life. So there is something to believe that, type O, they say you need meat. I don't necessarily need meat, but I do think you need more protein. Type O tends to have more heart problems, more depression, but which comes first, the chicken and the egg? Because they have, some of the methylation disorders and the genetic disorders. So you kind of don't know like what door that really comes in, and in the medical community or in the book writing community, sometimes they come in through the wrong door and they get like 1 + 7 = 72, and it doesn't. You can unwind it a different way and kind of tweak it. So as you kind of learn what the inconsistencies and the imbalances are in people, you can balance those. And then you can cheat. For example, I'm highly allergic to eggs, but I had this lovely breakfast of organic eggs and toast yesterday because I haven't ate eggs for weeks. So you learn how to kind of cheat the system and still not go into inflammation or into pain or into depression or into mood disorder.
Absolutely. And would you say that that's kind of the one specific problem, the inflammation, is what your clients face?
Human race, 8 billion people face. It's a symptom, but it's so funny. I always tease, my students, because I'm like, I wish I could look at a person, which is good because you're not in very much inflammation. So good job. You're a healthy person. You take care of yourself. But I hate that I look at people and the first thing I don't think man, woman, child, or cute, pretty, skinny, heavy. I think much inflammation. It just bothers me. And even myself, when I get up, I'm like, you look pretty good, or you don't look good, or what'd you do yesterday that drove your body to go into that reactive state? Did you eat something wrong? Did you not take something you should have taken? Did you expose yourself? We expose, like pumping gas. We don't think about it. How many of you guys raise your hand? Do you pump gas? Well, we have beautiful husbands or boyfriends or, children or whoever, servants. We probably occasionally pump gas. Don't do that. Wear gloves or get a valet. One of those two things you need to do. So we just don't even, I think really what I teach, what it boils down to, Elizabeth, is to become very, very conscious that we are energetic beings first and physical beings second. And every choice we make matters, whether it's what we put in our mouth, whether it's how we move our body, it's how much time we spend in nature or don't. And I'll tell you one of the things that we see in scans that freaks people out, and it's so simple. And this is really sad, but really appropriate for the world we live in today, 5 minutes of silence. Everybody's bodies and minds and emotions scream for 5 minutes of silence. And that's so simple. But that discipline, if you guys could just put that discipline into your day, mind-blowing changes in your life.
I just wrote that down. Thank you. That's important. It's important. I like to take the time. And one thing you just said, so you don't need technology to read people?
Oh, no. Well, because, and I'm glad I came in. I know, I look so amazing young. You wouldn't believe this. I'm kidding, you guys. I'm sarcastic. But, back in the day, and this blows my girls' minds. They're like, Mom, how did you know where to go without a GPS in your car? I'm from back in the day. I know you guys might need to Google what this is. A map, and we use gas stations. And if you're not from my area, you're like, gas stations? Why did you use gas stations? Was that a search and market? No, because people were friendly and they weren't serial killers back then. And you stopped in the neighborhood you were in and you asked if someone knew how to get there, right, Elizabeth? We use different, tools. So the good thing about my naturopathic practice is I came in through reading the body. I know sclerology and iridology, and I know some Chinese medicine, and I know the tongues, and I know the fingernails, and I can just look at people and I can tell whether you have a strong constitution or a weak constitution. So I can do it the old-fashioned way. I is the youngest person on the face of the earth. When I discovered technology, I'm all for it. So, but it's good that if I don't have it or my stuff crashes or the internet goes out, I don't have to cancel all my appointments. We can go back.
That is amazing. That is amazing. So I think we need to talk further about that because I think it's very, very fascinating. Can you tell me the top 3 tips you have for someone that's just starting out with frequency work? What should they be focusing on?
Oh, wow. First of all, I think it's a big
question, I know.
Yeah, it's a big question. I'm like, oh gosh, Elizabeth, I have an appointment. You tell me this is a 3-hour show. Because I can take an hour for each thing. First of all, I think if you guys aren't familiar with frequency work, that you find someone that uses some form of technology. And there's actually practitioners all over. A common entry point is a chiropractic office. They will have what's called a biofeedback machine. Now, our stuff is a lot more sophisticated, but it's a good starting point. They do what's called, usually, I don't want to lump them all together, they do what I call test to the product. So I'm going to give you an example. And we're just going to call it the white products, just so I don't insult anyone because I'll get letters. So let's say I, as a chiropractor, sell the white products, and they're a great product. You know, they're absorbed, blah, blah, blah. They're made with great organic ingredients. They're great product. Well, just because it's a great product doesn't mean your body really wants it. And here's why. If you are, let's say you're stressed, you can't sleep, and your adrenals are running on overload, and you need all the vitamin Bs. First of all, if you don't know if you have a methylation defect, you don't know whether you need methylated B, normal B, you don't know if you need it together, separate, you know, there's a lot to just that one statement. But the problem is if they test you and they're like, oh, you need B, here's your B. If your body is in what I call crisis mode, it will pick anything. So then you go spend all this money at the chiropractor and you're like, well, I did what you said. I had biofeedback, I said I need B, and I bought the white products, and I'm not getting well. The problem with that is, and this is why I love technology, we have thousands and thousands and thousands of brands in my big machines. So we can very much say you need to get something, and some of the brands aren't even for sale, but we kind of know how they're composed. You need to get something organic. You need to get something methylated. You need to get something with this many milligrams or take this many milligrams. The body is so precise. If you guys really understood how technology worked, it would blow your mind and you'd become the most obsessive freaks in the world, because your body actually has a certain color it wants your bedroom painted when it's sleeping. That is optimal for balance. And it may be 3 colors, but it may only be 1. Your body actually has a certain area that it would like to live in. You know, some people thrive in the city. Some people shouldn't go anywhere near the city. People like my daughter that are extremely weak constitutions, that are very sensitive. They can't handle that amount of EMF and technology bombardment, which is actually leads us into the second thing I think we really need to think about. Technology is ramping up beyond belief. Every car built after 2010 has that technology, that balance, like a wireless router, like those, and not very many people have them, but the home phones where you have a base and it goes back and forth. You guys are getting bombarded with these towers. I was driving back from Ohio to North Carolina a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, why is there a tower? Like, I'm an observer of details. And so I'm like, why is there a tower literally every 10 miles? And I know the answer to that, and that gets into a whole nother show and whole other topics. But the point is, all those towers, you don't have to live by them. Energy knows what? No time or distance. The whole world is being bombarded. I'm sure you guys have heard of HAARP. If you guys want to do further research, Google HAARP, all capitals, and do some research on your own. But that's turned on, and we have apps. Actually, I have apps on my phone where I constantly photograph and post it for my groups, and you guys need to research this, where I can tell what area of the country. I mean, I could be a weatherman, seriously, because if they're bombarding your area of the country with HAARP, which they just did with the Northwest, and now they're having hail and a lot of storms and some cold up there. 2 weeks later, you're going to have severe weather. You might have too hot. You might have too cold. You might have torrential rain. You might have tornadoes. You're going to have unusual weather for the time of year because they're experimenting on us. And you're like, who cares? It doesn't matter. It matters. The exposure of the tech is so much crazier than you guys think it is. The movie Enemy of the State, they told us how much exposure and what they were doing years and years and years ago. And I know I'm not trying to take this beautiful natural health show into a conspiracy show, but my point is this has negative effects, and it's more than just electrical disturbance. You guys are electrical beings. You have meridians, you have chakras, your cells run on electricity. You have a light body. And so when they are messing, every time you drive by a tower, I want you to look for those big black cords that go up it. That's a powerful force being beamed at your town. Now, there's tons and tons of stuff you can do with it, but almost everybody comes with EMF. One of the best things you can do is start meditating, take yoga, get back with nature, connect physically, take off your shoes, ground with the earth. You need to be discharging. There's positive energy and there's negative energy. EMF can be positive, and it can be negative. Most of what we're exposed to is negative. So you need to be discharging the negative, and what? Who has the most pure energy? The earth. You know, you need to go in nature. I don't just mean go in nature and say, oh yeah, it's a pretty mountain. You know, go back to the hotel room, turn on what? The TV, which is bombarding you with programming and EMF. I mean, go into nature and take that breath, breathe deeply, sit by the negative ion waterfalls, put your feet in the water, put your hand on the bark of the tree, allow nature, and even consciously, intentionally, in a meditative way, allow nature to recharge you, because you really are built like a battery. We know that, again, from Volon, Tesla, and many great, Einstein. You have to recharge. And if you're being drained by the there's only one of you. We can't just throw you out and buy a new battery, So it's your responsibility to really understand the electrical system and understand how to recharge. So one of the things we do, I do recommend, I didn't used to, but I've come a long way back because our foods are so nutritionally depleted. I can look right here and I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8 things I take every day for my own particular imbalances and weaknesses. I take physical nutrition. And you're like, well, you're this powerful energy healer. Yeah. But the body's physical. We're light beings in a physical body. We still need to nourish the physicality of our body. So good, targeted, viable nutrition, both in what you're eating in your meals and what you're taking as a supplement, is very important.
Awesome. So I got 2. Did I miss the third point?
Yeah, one. There's so much. What do I want to go with? I'm going to go with kind of a double one. I'm going to go with the liver because, again, I was just going through my email before this and something popped up. We're getting toxins and antibiotics from Chinese fish. And I just said out loud, nobody listens to me in my house. So I basically talk to myself because I talk about this stuff all day and they just tune me out, my girls. And they're older, you guys, so that'll happen. If you have young kids that think you're the bomb, just wait. Your time's coming. But I said, you guys, I have to raise my own fish. Because seriously, you guys know, you've heard it. The radiation is crazy. I would say radiation toxicity is, again, everybody. And I'm just going to recommend this carte blanche. I don't have to test you. I don't have to run you. I don't have to do anything to you. I'm telling you, all 8 billion of you on the planet, or 7 billion, you need to be taking, a really nice quality mineral liquid iodine. Everybody, absolutely, every day. Men, women, babies, children, pets, your pets. Because the radiation, we are not being told the truth. There's so much radiation leakage in our own country. There's so much nuclear testing we don't know about. Everybody's like, oh, nuclear war, nuclear war. You guys, nuclear war has been there, done that, continuing to this day. We are experiencing the fallout of living in a very toxic environment. We're not taking care of have I covered like 87 topics on the show, Elizabeth, but we're not taking care of our planet. We aren't taking care of nature. You take care of nature, nature will take care of you. I encourage you guys to get back to local. So go to locally sustainable. Join your local co-ops. I'm on the board of a local co-op because I want to practice what I'm preaching. I want to do what I'm recommending that other people do. We grow our own organic gardening. Of course, what do we have with that? We have chemtrails, so you can't even grow your own organic gardening, right? We have depleted runoff soil from what? The chemicals, the Monsanto stuff, the over-farming. You have to use heirloom seeds. Like, I'm really giving you guys like 8 years of stuff in this one show, but the point is, we have to, if we want to be healthy, the magical health fairy does not come visit you every night and give you health for the next day. Beautiful thing about this body, seriously, and I mean this 100%, you can look younger at 80 than you did at 40. Why? Because everything's renewing. Some things renew every day. Some things renew every 7 years. Even your heart renews. And so what you're putting, are you putting high electrical or low electrical? Are you putting alkaline or acid? What thoughts are you putting in? Are you learning meditation and yoga? Are you jogging and hiking and getting out in nature? What have you changed? If you change, remember, the positive energy and add positive energy things in, you're going to be what? What is old age? Old age is calcification. It's stopping of the movement. It's toxins accumulating. It's things getting stuck. It's a lack of the right kind of water. Like I said, we could talk about many things. But anyway, you guys get the idea. So the liver becomes very, very toxic, and the other eliminations, liver and kidneys. And we see this again, in this audience and in many audiences and individuals that I work with. And what does the liver do? Messes up, again, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? It messes up the female-male hormones, along with things like atrazine. Everybody's like, why is there so much sexual confusion? The hormones in men and women and children, and even babies that I work with, are so whacked. And if you're, I hate to be stereotypical, but if you're a woman, most women, I don't think I've ever talked to a woman that didn't have at some point in her life, severe hormonal disturbance, whether it was after a baby or when she came into puberty or as she aged and went into menopause. It doesn't have to be that way. We bring the organs back to health. We do things like negative ion foot baths and eliminate the toxins throughout the body, get rid of blood clots and get rid of heavy metals. We take good nutrition and good foods and rebuild the organs. We will look younger. We will be happier. We will have more energy now than we did before we knew about all this stuff. So yeah, it's overwhelming. You're like, who cares? I mean, my parents are 75 and they're all like, oh, it's too late to eat organic. You know, we're going to die soon anyway. But I don't have that. I want to live a viable, healthy, happy life till I'm old, and I hope you guys do too. So the positive thing is there's so much you can do about all these things. And we aren't made aware. You have to be aware, and then you have to decide to take action.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. No, that was very powerful. And my mother's 80 years old, and she always says, well, I don't want to take a pill to be very, very interesting. So a lot of great information. So I'm going to give you just give me a minute or two, like how we can connect with you, how people can follow you, find out more about what you're doing in your work and in the world.
Sure. I really appreciate that. So your best bet is secrettoeverything.com. And we do offer, some interactive experience. Usually, we put up old interviews that we've done and entry points. I also have the radio show, secrettoeverything.com. It's on iTunes. You can also Google it. And we're on many, many stations around the world. It's carried on the X-Zone broadcast network, but it's really broadcast out all over. So depending what you're listening to, you may have stumbled across it already. The easiest way, really, though, outside of those ways with social media and everything, I'm on Twitter, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram. But really just drop my name or my business name in, and you'll get pages and pages and pages and kind of find your own path and your own interests. Because I do a lot of things. So if you see one thing and you're like, she didn't talk about that, keep looking, because you'll come to the theme of this show more. So we offer, classes, and we offer scans if you would like to be personally scanned. Just kind of a little bit of everything, but I'm very easily found.
Awesome. Dr. Kimberly McGeorge, thesecrettoeverything.com. And didn't you invite me before this, I believe, to your radio show as well?
Oh, yeah. I'd love to have you on. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Absolutely. Awesome. Okay. Well, thank you so much. And it's been such a pleasure having you. I mean, really, because you could teach us so much about so much. But thank you for being one of our 21 experts talking about naturally beautiful and optimal health. Again, this is Dr. Kimberly McGeorge. If you guys loved what she had to offer, please hit the like button here on the video and come back and watch our other experts. Thanks so much. Have a great day.